Welcome to Prime Life. We call it Retirement 2.0. Leave each episode with tips and new ideas to help you navigate retirement in our new age. It's your time. Make it count.
This podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not intended as medical, investment, or financial advice. We do not sponsor or endorse any of the individuals, companies, products, or services featured on this podcast. Any statements or opinions expressed are of the individual who makes them. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Prime Life Podcast. I'm Joseph Katz, here again with my good friend Mary. Mary Crean, how are you today?
I'm really well. I'm feeling revved up and ready to go. I'm feeling empowered, by the way.
Oh, good word. Good word. Mm-hmm. I know we have another interesting guest on the show. So you have some background history with this person. So why don't you do the intros and we'll get kicking off.
Yeah, I'm really happy to introduce Jocelyn DeMaio. She's the owner of Empowered. It's an award-winning fitness studio in Connecticut, and she's passionate about helping people of all ages into the power of movement and community to live stronger and more connected in their lives. And I've known Jocelyn for several years, and I bumped into her at an event, and I said, I've been thinking about you. You must come on Prime Life Podcast because I love what you're doing. And I know we're going to focus a little bit more on our 55 plus, but Jocelyn, take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and thank you for joining us today.
First of all, Mary and Joseph, thank you so much for including me on the Prime Life podcast. I'm really excited to be here. And what really jazzes me about the opportunity to share my story is because I really enjoy helping people. I'm really passionate about helping people use movement and use their energy to connect to healthier, fuller life. And I truly believe that it's never too late to empower your body and your life.
Well, I'm already empowered to jump in and ask the first question. So we've had other folks on the show talking about health and wellness. Share a little bit about your philosophy, perspective on I forgot the word you used, empowering your body to do more and live better, healthy life.
Absolutely. So I've been teaching fitness classes since 2000, and I've always felt that it was a passion and a call to help people feel stronger, and not just physically, but emotionally. So I opened Empowered in 2016 because I wanted to create a space where people would show up and they would feel fully supportive and better than when they walked in. I believe that it's critical to feel good about yourself. It's not just about looking a certain way. I think it's about empowering your body to feel good, to be healthy.
And I remember when you were starting out and you were sharing your dream. And I said, wow, I used to be in the health and wellness space, the fitness business, and I take my hat off to you because I know how wonderful it is. You're transforming people's lives literally right before your eyes. And I know from past experience, those individuals are so grateful for the community. And you and I, when we talked before we recorded, you talked about the importance of community. So why is exercise so important as we age? I think that word community may pop up.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we age, movement becomes less about aesthetics and more about independence, more about vitality and the overall quality of life. So regular exercise at any age will help with balance, bone density, mobility, heart health, but it also helps keep your mind sharp and your spirits high. So I think that by staying active it will give you the energy that you need to keep doing things that you love, whether it's playing with your grandkids, traveling, living with confidence. And I think the best way to do that is within a community and within a space where you'll feel valued for who you are and what your goals are. And so I believe in the power of group exercise. There's great opportunities to exercise alone in your basement or at a gym by yourself. But finding a community, especially as you age, that can be part of your day to day. I just feel like it's such an important piece of growing older and keeping with the energy that you have in your day to day.
So I have a lot of questions about community, which I'll come back to. But I wanted to touch on something you said earlier, which I don't know why, but it kind of hit me between the eyes a little bit. You said it's about feeling good about ourselves, not the way we look. Or I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact words. And that was just interesting to me because I've actually, as crazy as it sounds, I've never actually thought about that. Everyone always thinks about, oh, you want to look a certain way. The pop culture makes certain people the eye that everyone wants to follow, social media, etc. So talk a little bit about where your mental attitude or mindfulness, or where does that all play into this as it relates to your mental health? Let's just use that term to cover the macro side of things, into physical well-being.
And we'll get that answer after a brief word from our commercial sponsors.
NASA is always working harder to be your carrier of choice. We offer insurance products that can help you meet your retirement goals, such as protecting your savings, securing lifetime income, or paying for healthcare costs. We're dedicated to providing best-in-class service and are keeping things simple, and we'll have your back. We have around 400,000 policyholders and contract holders and have been doing this for a long time, 170 years. But we remain humble enough to always try to improve. For more information, visit NFG.
Absolutely. So movement in general is a very powerful mood booster. By moving, you release endorphins, you release stress. Movement helps regulate sleep and emotions. So in retirement, or as you approach retirement, your routines shift and social interaction may lessen. Movement can help provide structure and purpose. So accomplishing a workout, no matter how small, it will reinforce the message that your body is capable and that your time is meaningful. So again, getting up and moving, it's going to help improve your mental health because it does release those endorphins and it just makes you feel happier.
Yes, all of that is real. And just think about the days that each of us say, oh, I'm too tired, or I really don't feel like working out. And I don't know if I want to get up and go to the studio, if you will. But then when we're there and we're finished, we feel like a whole new person. And what I like to say is don't think about it, because you can talk yourself out of it. But it's so important to be there, to show up, and to not psych yourself out if you feel like, oh, I'm not going to have a great workout. That's okay. Like, it's all right. Just do it. Be around those individuals that you enjoy. I know you've shared, Jocelyn, that you have clients, members of your studio that love to ask about family events or things that are going on in people's lives, and they remember, and you have found it to be so gratifying. And so I love that. Tell us a little bit about what you think about how working out with others can be more motivating versus maybe doing things on your own. Again, everyone's different, but I would love for you to speak a little bit about that.
So it's better in groups. I think that's a tagline from somewhere. There's energy in togetherness. So I truly believe that when you surround yourself with others who are showing up and giving their best, it inspires you to be better. It inspires you to do the same. It also creates a sense of accountability, encouragement, and you ultimately are a part of something bigger. And honestly, it's just more fun, right? It's more fun. So in the classes that I teach, I try to tell a lot of stories. We talk about books, we talk about movies. This morning I taught and we played movie trivia. It just makes you kind of think about other things, and you're surrounded by people and you learn from other people. I think that that's really what makes the whole experience more rewarding, is that you are successful and others are successful with you. So I mean, I just think that it's definitely very motivating to work out with others.
Mm.
So Mary said something earlier about you just showing up. You know, you may not be the best workout, just getting into a workout is something I hear a lot. I'm not going to say the name of this company because I don't want to promote any one business, but the app that I use to work out, they say that a lot, right? They say, yeah, it's just about being there, about get yourself moving. So let's take it a step back. How do you get yourself moving if you were just saying like, I don't want to do it. It's hard, right? Everyone just stuck in their own heads and feeling down about one thing and just not ready, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think we've all been there at some point in time. But I always say, like, just getting up and moving, you're doing more than that person that's sitting on the couch, right? Doing nothing. So my advice is to start small and to give yourself grace. So even a short walk with some gentle stretching or any sort of body weight exercise at home can be more powerful than not moving. Again, I think that I think it's all about consistency, not necessarily intensity. I do think that if you're able, I think that trying a group class at a local spot that is tailored to meet your needs, that by being around others in that group setting, again, it will just be so much more easier to stay motivated and to enjoy the process, so that when you are sort of have that lack of motivation, you could think about the fact that, oh, I haven't seen John in a while, or I haven't seen Sally in a while. I wonder what they're up to. I think I'm going to go to class. I think I'm going to go work out and see what they're doing. It kind of just becomes like a non-negotiable in your life, because you make friends with the people that you're exercising with, and they become part of your family. And I really do believe that uh, exercise in the right setting with the right people, that is your family, or an
So
extension of your
you
family.
just described my wife, who religiously goes to her gym, has a group of friends. They invite each other to each other's family events. It's
Yeah.
like a real family.
Yeah.
Every Thursday night, I go out with a group of my clients. So we always go to like a local mom and pop uh, pizza restaurant. And yes, I eat pizza. Everyone should eat pizza. Um, so we do that after we exercise, and we just share laughs, and we catch up with each other about things that are going on in our lives. And again, like, some of my best friends are people that I exercise with, and people that I've met through my studio, or even before I owned my studio, that I've known for 20 years, that have been working out with me. I mean, it's a real thing. So I can see why your wife is so passionate about it, and because they're her friends, they're her family, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think when you get to know people, in some ways, it's an intimate thing without having it sound the wrong way, because it's like when you get your hair done, it's the same thing. You talk to that person, you see them on a regular basis, you get to know them. You are part of their family, as Joseph indicated with his wife, and you've indicated that as well with your individuals that you have pizza with. And I love hearing that you said everyone should eat pizza, of course, if they can, because I do believe part of, exercise in general is, moderation of everything, right? And not depriving yourself, because I think that can go into a whole other ball of wax, which we won't go into when you unless there's health reasons. But that's different than just saying, I'm never going to eat pizza again or cookies or whatever. That's just not realistic. And that's where I think some sabotage comes into play. So you've been working with individuals over the years, as you mentioned. Would you share a story, perhaps, a short story with one of the individuals that you've transformed their life? And then a second question I have is, are you seeing a trend with older individuals coming to you to exercise?
Sure. So I'll start with something very memorable. There's one experience that I will never forget. And this was probably 5 years into my teaching. So still pretty early in my journey. And a woman that had been consistently coming to my class pulled me aside after, and she had transformed her body and her attitude. And when she started, she was very obese and and over the years, it is a journey. Over the years, she had lost a significant amount of weight. And I will give her credit. This was all through her own hard work and dedication. But she religiously came to my cycling class multiple times a week. And she pulled me aside and she said that my classes helped motivate her to help save her life. And honestly, like, if someone has said that to, like, someone said that to me, like, that is a moment that has stuck with me and will always stick with me, because though she again did all the hard work, right? She was dedicated. She came, she did all the heavy lifting, literally and figuratively. But to know that I played even a small role in her transformation, it reminded me of why I do this. It's not just about exercise. It's about helping people feel seen, feel capable, and to feel empowered. And to answer your other question, I really do think that, again, movement is critical at all ages, but more so as we age, because we do lose bone density. Our organs do degrade. It's just a matter of life, and an unfortunate matter of life. So any form of movement and doing that, especially as an aging adult, can help you. It can help improve your quality of life. I truly believe that. And maybe you won't have a situation where you're thanking your fitness instructor for saving their life, or maybe you will. Or maybe it will be the people around you that have helped motivate you to stay and take classes and to show up religiously day after day.
That's a great story. This interview, this conversation is actually a lot different than what I thought it was going to be. I've never actually thought of fitness folks as lifesavers, but you really are, right? Like, if someone's, again, I live in my little bubble of my world, my family, and like, it's different than the rest of the world. And you are seeing people who are at a point in their lives where you will save their life.
Yeah.
Or at a bare minimum, make their lives better or potentially extend their lives.
Yeah, I think people can feel really isolated or unsure about where they fit in to a specific routine. And all it takes is just coming to one class or taking one step. And over time, people are going to you're going to build confidence, you're going to build strength. And more importantly, you're going to find a community. So I think that what I've seen over my career in this world is that that's the regular members that I have. And they're bringing people alongside of them. And now individuals that start off that have never exercised before, they find their community, and they're the ones that are pulling people along. So I mean, it's never too late to start something new and to feel connected.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to just repeat something you said earlier, which is, it's about consistency, not intensity. That's a great phrase. I'm going to keep that in mind. And it's hard to maintain consistency. So consistency may be different for every person, right? Maybe once a day, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, probably not consistent, but it's going to mean something different, twice a week, 3 times a week, etc.
Right.
Earlier, I said I wanted to get back to community, and you just mentioned it a second ago. I've actually not thought of people who go to health clubs and studios like yours as a community, but I actually, I mentioned my wife, and obviously she has a community there. So was building community part of your initial vision for your studio? How do you see that community evolving? I mean, I know you go to dinner with them once a week. Talk a little bit about how you built it, and was it intentional versus not intentional, and take us down that journey a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually was extremely intentional. Um, I was working at a variety of different health clubs, and I kept looking at the fact that after class, uh, people were sitting around and they were hanging out with each other. They weren't just running out the door, right, in and out. And so much so that, very deliberately, when I opened my studio, um, I said, I really need to have a big lobby. And I remember at the time my business coach saying, you don't really want to put a lot of space into something that's not bringing you revenue, right? You want to make your group exercise room bigger.
I would have said
Or,
that to you.
right. And I said, no, but this is what's going to build community, and this is what's going to make people come back for more. And it's funny because, I don't have a coffee pot in my lobby, but I should, because people make that comment all the time. Like, we should have coffee here, because they sit around after class and they talk. And so, yeah, the space isn't bigger where you're exercising. Um, but where people hang out after that's the community piece of it. And I think that's what makes Empowered special, but I think that's what makes any fitness program or studio special, is when you have people that they don't want to leave, right? They want to stay, they want to talk, they want to show photos on their phone. I have a client that's getting married next weekend, and she's shown us lots of photos of her dress, and of course previously her engagement photos. And I have someone else that just got back from a Viking cruise and is showing us photos of what it was like to sail down the river, and all the different places they stopped. And it's interesting, and it is a community. And absolutely, very deliberately did I think about that when I opened my studio. And I would encourage anybody listening that is thinking about that as a great career, a great retirement opportunity, to open your own place, to do that and to
So
think about
I have
that.
to jump in with a sort of a connected follow-up question. So your business advisor suggested not having a big space, which I would have done as well, right? Because it doesn't seem to make a lot of financial sense to have all that space. Have you seen the community grow because people are saying, oh, this is the place to hang out, this is the place to go work out, this is like word of mouth? Is it spreading faster because of that community? And are you able
Yeah,
to measure it?
I truly believe that it has spread. I mean, we do ask when clients indicate how they've heard about us. Is it through online? Is it through other ads? And the majority are word of mouth, right? So their friend comes here, they'll listen to that person, and then they'll have a buddy, they'll have a workout buddy, right? And they'll come with them. So absolutely, it is measurable. Definitely word of mouth. Definitely, I don't think people would be talking about us if they didn't have that sense of community. Very, 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 very few people come and go. Most everyone sticks around or comes early before class to hang out.
I love that story. And what's really interesting for me listening to you, Jocelyn, is even though it was many years ago, I was in a similar business. Everything you said was exactly true back then as it is today. So that's very interesting for me. And also, I want to echo and lift up what you said about the client that said that you saved their life. I've also heard that, and it's real, because if you weren't the kind, individual, but also that is able to offer a place where the exercise is, philosophically on point and physiologically on point, then that person may not have stuck around. And it goes back to, Joseph, when you were saying earlier about, being consistent. That's why back in the day, we would say to individuals, just start out a couple days a week. Like, don't say you're going to come every day, because then we know that's going to be the recipe to stop completely. So I love all of the things that I've heard today. And as we kind of get down a little bit closer to the end, before I ask you the final question, I would love to know, and you could share with our audience, what are some key elements that you would want people to take away from today's conversation in terms of what they should potentially look for in a studio or gym as they contemplate beginning or even just maybe pivoting to an exercise program that is really going to fulfill them and serve their needs, maybe perhaps even better?
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for asking that, Mary. I would say look for a place that feels welcoming and inclusive, where the focus is how you feel, not how you look. The instructors should meet you where you are and offer modifications, encouragement, not pressure. You want to feel safe, you want to feel supportive, and you want to feel like you're a part of something that the people around you care about you and not just your membership.
So before Mary gets to her final question, I would love to have a whole chat about community building with you. I've worked in many businesses that have done community building, and I've learned a few things, or at least picked up on some nuances that you have shared. So thank you for that. For our listeners, what considerations should they be thinking about if they're going to get off the couch and take that first step?
So again, I would think about wanting to feel good, not just look good. And I would think about finding a place that can help give you a sense of belonging, because that's what's going to help motivate you. That's what is going to want to help you come back for more. I know that has shaped my life in a very profound way. I think you'll be able to have friendships that will blossom. Milestones will be celebrated, whether it's you lost a couple of pounds, or you feel better, you're taking less blood pressure medication. Like those are real things that will happen with exercise. Or you've taken 10 classes, like that's a milestone. I think that I think in general, to answer your question, we're stronger when we move and when we do it together. So get off the couch. It's worth it.
I love that. So Jocelyn, last question. You're a very talented young woman. You do lots of great things in your life. I know I see you out in the community doing a lot of philanthropic work in addition to your business. Why do you wake up every day and do what you do with Empowered?
Because I love it. Because I couldn't imagine my life without it.
That's probably the best answer we've had.
Yeah.
It's what motivates me. I love helping other people. I truly believe that I was brought into this world to help others. Mm-hmm. And through fitness, I'm doing that.
So Jocelyn, before we wrap up the show, how could someone get in touch with you if they want to learn more about you or the work that you do? And what's the best way? And Mary will put it all in the show notes as well.
Sure. The best way to get in touch with me is Jocelyn@empoweredstudio.com through email.
Excellent. Jocelyn, it's been a great conversation, and definitely learned a few things or opened my eyes to some some new ways of looking at stuff. So appreciate that. Mary, always a pleasure to spend time with you. To all of our listeners, thanks for joining us. Tune in again next week for another exciting, interesting episode of the Prime Life podcast. And give us a little thumbs up and a like on your podcast streaming platform. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
.com. Nassau insurance products are issued by Nassau Life and Annuity Company of Hartford, Connecticut, Nassau Life Insurance Company, East Greenbush, New York, or Nassau Life Insurance Company of Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas. Subsidiaries of Nassau Financial Group. Products are not available in all areas. Policyholder counts are for all Nassau companies as of September 30th, 2022, and are subject to change.
Remember to subscribe to the Prime Life podcast anywhere you find podcasts. You can find all of our episodes, contact information, and more on our website, primelifepodcast.com. Stay connected with us. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.